welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Engaging Titan. We're on Erlenberg and I'm in the 40 TP, the Polish tier 6 medium tank, the Habicha. And we're in a tier 7 game on Erlenberg, and I have found this tank has grown on me somewhat. Admittedly grown on me a bit like a fungus. It's not a great tank by any standards, but it's a tank that kind of steadily improves. It starts off really bad and it does get a little bit better. Essentially the guns get better. The final gun is actually a pretty decent gun. So the tank is still as blind as a bat. It's still very, very slow on anything but flat level ground or downhill. And it's slow to accelerate, slow to maneuver, slow to move. So if you're caught standing still on this thing and you need to get out of the way, tough luck, you're not going to. However, if you can get the gun firing early if you can, that's one of the areas where you have to make a decision sometimes with this tank. You need to get into a position where you can fire the gun, preferably without being seen, without much risk of being seen. Or else you need to be firing the gun so that there are a lot more obvious threats than you. So you need to be kind of well back, but you need to be in a position where you can still bring the gun to bear and you don't want to go anywhere alone. Well, not much anyway. You want to be either heading towards allies. You can risk a certain amount towards the end of the game, obviously, because you can trade your if you've managed to preserve your health points. If you manage to preserve your health pool towards the end of the game, you can trade the health pool to a certain extent and get away with it. Generally, it's good for taking on at least one tank. Now, I switched to high explosives there because initially for a bit, because I wanted to. That T-29 is vulnerable to high explosive fire at this point. One or two shots could do him in. With another one like that, and he's finished. And if you struck lucky, you would take him out of the game. And he's a very dangerous gun, but he's been just sitting in the open too much. The enemy, it's a very campy game. Both sides are actually camping hard. I mean, only 3 enemy tanks pushed across the river into our side, and our side showed no aggression at all. Basically, everybody just sat here around the castle, sniping at the people who crossed the river. So again, I'm trying the high explosives, but somebody else has beaten me to it. And then things are looking to start decidedly boring. The enemy are in the cap circle. They have 2 tanks in the cap circle. We have 1 not in the cap circle, but very close. And there's basically nothing happening. A couple of our guys on the southern side look like they're going to make a push in the river. It's very hard, I think, to push from the southern side. I actually think it's easier to actually push from the northern side than to push from the southern side, myself. Then it's fairly easy to defend from the southern side because you only need really 1 tank down spotting you, and a lot of the tanks in the ridge can still shoot you without being seen. Like that Tiger 131, if it wasn't for the fact that I was here in the middle. Although it's not me lighting them up. However, the T-21 is getting an uninterrupted run at the cap circle, and I am beginning to wonder, should I just roll in over the edge of the cap circle here, just to stall the cap circle? There's no way going after the T-21. There's just too many tanks behind him, and I would be out in the open, exposed, and I would be not fast enough to get back out of the way. I mean, I might get a shot in at him, but I wouldn't survive to get away from it. From the location, so it's better off for me to stay here to stall the cap, count, and wait for some of these things to develop. Preferably for fewer tanks to be on the back line. Now our guys they're pushing, but they're not pushing hard. I suppose I don't blame them either. They need to cover. There's still a lot of tanks back there, and the Tiger has switched to locations where I can't shoot him from. An enemy tank has made it over the northern edge as well. I'm kind of surprised that he's been. Well, see, our guys aren't well positioned. One of them should have been on the other side. of the road, kind of up where the medium is coming up now. If they'd been there, he wouldn't have been able to come up and cross the open ground. I pulled back. I thought I might get a shot at him, but he's not. He's on the other side. He's between the little cleft between the two, the break and the ridge. So I am going to have to go and do something, I think, about this. The T-21's pulled back out of the cap circle. We're very even on tanks, and something needs to be done. The 88 can't see me if I stay behind this side of the road on the left hand side. Keep the building between myself and the 88, and I should be able to get a shot on the T-21 without exposing myself to anybody, except maybe the T-21. The T-21 doesn't have much in the line of armour, so it's just a matter of punching through. This gun is well able to do it, and that's him out of the game. So now the advantage is slightly to us, and I just pull out, and oh, there's a lot of tanks up there. And they all shoot at me, but I don't take, fortunately, I don't take a lot of damage, or I don't get tracked. This tank is actually fairly vulnerable to getting tracked. So, the Hellcat, can I get a shot at any of them? No, the Hellcat's on the other side of the ridge line. Only the captured KV-1, and that dropped short. It's the problem when you get over the 300 meters, you'll see a lot of shots dropping short. That one bounced because he just pulled back and managed to hit the edge of the tracks, and now I have a better angle on him. So I punched that one straight through, and he's only got 70 hit points left, and he gets taken out completely. So now the numerical advantage has swung to us, so I think it's time to push forward. Although it will take me a while to get there. But we're 3 versus 2, we should win. Yes, you think? Anyhow, off we go. So I'm okay on the flat ground, but when it starts rising, my speed is going to drop off fairly rapidly. So it is, I suppose, comparable with the slower mediums on flat ground, and you can get up quite a lick of speed going downhill at it. I think I've hit 60 kilometers an hour, but going uphill, yeah, it's going to take its time. And hour 3 has become 1, and it's now 1 versus 3. So we're going to try and help out, put around, bounce it off the roof of the 88, very heavily armoured tank. Can I track the 88? No, I can actually destroy it completely. Leo, I make a mistake here. I forget that the M44 is out there as well. So I go and put rounds into the Leo because I wanted to maneuver to minimise the return fire. But the trouble is now I'm on low ground, trying to turn around on a slope in front of an M44, and my snapshot doesn't come off. Not that I don't think it would have made any difference. I think even if the snapshot had hit and destroyed the M44, which would have been possible, his shot was already in the air. Allied tank. This is a scene that's just struck me as extraordinary. The two tanks are here, but the Tiger is taking fire. He's taking hits, and he's not moving. I mean, if you're taking hits, you move, you push yourself, you reorientate yourself, you change your angles, you go behind cover. You could either side scrape off the side of the OI, or you could go around the corner and side scrape off the side of the corner, and he'd have a better chance. Instead, he's just sitting there, taking it. And he must have had ammo racked as well, because it's a very slow rate of fire. But I just think it's just crazy. You don't do that, folks. You move. You don't sit there taking him when you don't have to. And there he is, he's gone. At this point, I thought we were going to lose the game. Mostly because I thought the Leo would be maneuverable enough to deal with our artillery. And to avoid our artillery and just keep the OI spotted. And all he has to do is keep the OI spotted for the M44. And the M44 would just rain death and destruction down on the OI. And that would be the end of the game. Then this guy would be on his own. But the Leo was in the habit of sitting still. And the artillery got him. Same place for too long. So now we're 2 versus 1, and it's an artillery. I think initially the player here, Bagul 666, was thinking going after the artillery. I think he was thinking of going scouting for the OI. But around about now, I'd say he changed his mind. It looks like he's going to head for the cap circle, and just everybody sit in the cap circle and let the artillery decide whether he wants to let us cap or just or try for the glory shot and see if he can get away with it. The OI is already wisely moved in behind the building, so that I don't think he quite understood where the artillery was, because he's showing too much of the tail of the tank. The artillery was up in the northwest corner, I think. But he's no line of sight, that's currently on the cap circle. So in we go, and we're just waiting for the artillery to respond. I have seen lots of games where in this circumstance the artillery would just simply go drown themselves. Which kind of reminds me, I've seen nobody drown themselves in Erlenberg in a year. There was a time like a game wouldn't go on this map for like you wouldn't have 5 games on this map where a tank drowning themselves at least once, and sometimes maybe 2 or 3 tanks in the game, in a one game. And it was all mostly by accident, at least as far as I could tell. However, this M44 is made of sterner stuff, and he doesn't attempt to interrupt the cap. He initially tries a blind shot, but that essentially tells everybody where he is. And then he appears on the ridge line. Now, I think this is a big mistake on his part, aside from the fact that he got blown away. I think if you're the last lone artillery in the game and you're trying to dislodge people from a cap circle, you're actually better off coming in close. Because if you're at range, by the time you've targeted, you'll be spotted and somebody will shoot you. Whereas in close, you can just let fly point blank and hope for the best. And see how you get on. Anyway, we got a first class mastery, came number 1 by experience out of that. It's an easy enough tank to ace, I think. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a like and a share. It really helps the channel out. And if you've not already done so, please subscribe. I will catch you all again soon. Bye for now.